Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, September 26th, and I'm Krista McDonald. On this week's episode, we learn about cryptocurrency scams at the library, we explore one of the display cases on the NHS indoor walking track, and we get the details on the Austin Reardon 5K coming up in October. All that and more coming up on this episode of Norwood News. On Thursday afternoon, Norwood police responded to several reports of gunshots fired in the area of Columbine Road. Norwood police released this statement on its Facebook page. At approximately 5:01 p.m., Norwood police received multiple reports of possible gunfire in the area of Columbine Road. Responding officers located evidence of shots fired. Witnesses reported seeing a vehicle leave the area at a high rate of speed, as well as 3 individuals running from the scene. Shortly after, a 911 call was received from a victim near Route 1 and Dean Street. Officers and Norwood Fire responded immediately, and the victim was transported to a Boston trauma center for treatment. The victim's injuries are not life-threatening. Norwood Police later updated its post with the following. During the investigation of tonight's shooting, officers detained 3 males who fit the description of the suspects and were seen coming out of the yard where the suspects were seen fleeing to. They were detained and later released. There are no suspects in custody at this time. Norwood News will continue to follow the story and gather information as it becomes available. The Norwood Comprehensive Plan Committee is calling on Norwood. The project team is seeking the community's input on ranking the proposed goals set by the committee. Share your thoughts and learn how you can get involved by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting tinyurl.com/NorwoodCP. When Norwood News returns, we'll look inside one of the Community Preservation Committee's information sessions. Caitlin Hamway has everything school news, and Ron Marshalsea has the latest in sports.
My name is Bridget Kidd. My most used emoji is the smiley face with the hearts.
My name is Katie Malley. My most used emoji is the smiley face emoji.
My name is Regan Pritchard. My most used emoji is probably like the fire one.
My name is Sienna. I go by Cece. My favorite emoji is the eye roll emoji.
Hi, my name is Sammy. My most used emoji is the crying emoji.
My dream job is an early education teacher.
My dream job is a pediatric nurse.
My dream job is an engineer.
I want to be an electrical engineer. That's my dream job.
I want to be an athletic trainer as a dream job.
And my favorite school lunch is the buffalo chicken dip.
My favorite school lunch is the buffalo chicken dip.
My favorite school lunch is probably like pizza.
And my favorite school lunch is probably the pizza.
And my favorite school lunch is nachos.
Runners will be hitting the road on Sunday, October 12th at 10 a.m. for the second annual Austin Reardon 5K road race. Race director Kathy Eckberg has the details for this important day.
Hi, my name is Kathy Eckberg, and I'm the race director for the Austin Reardon 5K Memorial Run. We'll be hosting our second annual on Sunday, October 12th at 10 a.m., starting and ending at the KFC on Nickel Street in Norwood. For this, we welcome runners and walkers to the event. All proceeds will go to either Norwood High scholarships as well as to purchasing socks for Pine Street Inn. So last year we donated 450 pairs of socks to the Pine Street Inn, and everybody who participates in the road race as either a runner or walker will also receive a pair of Austin Reardon AR 5K pair of socks. The scholarships that we give is to Norwood High graduates, so the class of 2025, we gave 1 $20,000 scholarship and 5 $1,000 scholarships. We plan on this year to also give to the class of 2026 1 $20,000 scholarship, as well as at least 2 $1,000 scholarships. This year, that's going to be new, is we're going to give 1 $1,000 scholarship to any Norwood resident that does not go to Norwood High but goes to another school, just to ensure that we include all Norwood graduates into this road race. We offer food, we raffle baskets. It's a really great event, and again, it's in honor of Austin Reardon, who is a class of 2019 Norwood High graduate who died unfortunately in an accident in the summer of 2023. So this is a great community event. It gives back to the students at Norwood High, as well as giving socks donations to the Pines Trinidad. So we certainly hope we'll see you there, rain or shine, and thanks so much.
Throughout the month, the Community Preservation Committee has been holding information sessions to educate the public on the purpose of the CPC and to gather public input on project ideas. The CPC is granted money through Norwood's tax dollars to fund specific preservation projects. Committee member Julie Barber-Issa ran the presentation at the Norwood Senior Center earlier this week.
So first of all, what is the Community Preservation Act? This is a Massachusetts law that was established to help fund projects in 4 categories: affordable housing, historic preservation, open space, and recreation. These funds are raised from a local surcharge on our taxes, and then they are matched by a smaller amount by the state. Projects are submitted annually to the CPC. We, as a committee, review them, and then town meeting ultimately votes to fund the project or not.
To learn more about what the CPC does and the projects they have funded, visit the town website at norwoodma.gov. The Norwood Anti-Scams Task Force partnered with the Morrill Memorial Library to hold a presentation on cryptocurrency scams. Bridgewater State University's Director of Information Security, David Marion, discussed different cryptocurrency scams, how they happen, and what you can do to avoid them.
These are probably the most insidious scams, are the pig butchering scams. I'm seeing a couple of head nods. These are insidious and absolutely evil because they will take a little bit of your money and then they'll give you a return. And they'll take a little bit more and they'll give you more money back. And they'll keep this up for the long con. Eventually, once you go all in, they disappear. These are just absolutely insidious. This could be anything. Yep. This could be anything, but we've seen this heavily with crypto. One of my good friends fell victim to a pig butchering scam. Someone who is a lot smarter than me, someone who's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and they had company letterhead, they had a website, they had someone he could call to ask questions. Everything on the surface was completely legitimate. They had Google reviews. And pretty much what happened was they went in for $500 and they went in for $1,000, then $10,000. Then once they went in with 6 figures into the investment, the company disappeared. They had a fake website with people asking questions and getting answers on it, and everything disappeared once they got their money. It was a long con, and they took a little bit of risk because they did have to pay out initially. But after a few months of this, they were able to walk away with 6 figures.
Now we're going to send it over to Caitlin Hamway with the latest in school news.
I'm Caitlin Hamway, and I'm a senior at Norwood High School, and let's check out what's happening in our Norwood schools. In Norwood High School news, over the summer, the new NHS principal, Cindy Durain, collaborated with Jack Tolman to produce a welcome back video for the staff. They received positive feedback from the staff, and it has been edited into a promotional video about Norwood High School. We would like to share it with you.
At Norwood High School, our vision speaks not only to who we are, but to where we're going. Built to last, built for the charge ahead. Those 5 words carry our full story. We are a community rooted in tradition, driven by purpose, and united by a belief that we're always becoming something more together. Our foundation is strong. The 4 A's, academics, athletics, arts and activities shape well-rounded students. The 5 C's, communicators, collaborators, creators, critical thinkers and problem solvers, and citizens. Prepare students to thrive in the world. And at the heart of it all, one team. We've never just stayed still. We lead, we move, we charge ahead, not recklessly, but boldly, intentionally, together. You'll see the 4 A's, 5 C's, one team vision in our classrooms, our hallways, our culture, not as a slogan, but as a shared belief that everything we build here matters, that we don't just prepare for the future, we create it. This is Norwood High School, a community built to last, a team built for the charge ahead.
Mr. Pham's 7th grade math classes at the Coakley Middle School started the year using Kagan strategies for cooperative learning. The classes did posters for their table of similarities using the Think Right Round Table strategy. Students then did a gallery walk to compare similarities and differences from their poster to other students in the class. Students have reviewed using inner-outer circle questions, vertical board spaces, I have, who has class activity, and a human number line to start learning about comparing integers. Students each had a number and had to make a number line together. This was used to make groups as positive or negatives and find your opposite number. Many laughs were had using the simultaneous round table strategy as students added to each other's work with their eyes closed. This was very creative and students were proud of the unique work of art. Mr. Pham and his classes look forward to a fun year of learning cooperatively. The school year is off to a great start at the Balch School. We're now holding twice monthly assemblies to celebrate ST math accomplishments. Character Strong and grade levels have a chance to showcase things that they are working on. At the last assembly, ST Math Superstars were announced. The Superstars are students that rally coach peers that need assistance while completing their puzzles. The Balch celebrated 100% whole participation in ST Math. At the Callahan School this week, Miss Shali Ba's 2nd grade class learned about respect, what it looks like, sounds like, and feels like in our classroom. Students practiced working with a partner on different activities. Together, we sorted examples of actions into respectful and not respectful categories. At the Cleveland School, they enjoyed creating a dot tree in the hallway and celebrating Dot Day in imaginative and creative ways. Also, at the Cleveland School, they welcomed families and students to their annual open house last week. Parents met with teachers as students took part in a school-wide scavenger hunt. Last week, the Prescott welcomed families at back-to-school night for a chance for students to show off their classrooms and tour the school. The PTO greeted families at the door with information about PTO programming and to give students a ticket for a frozen treat. Families had a chance to shop the Scholastic Book Fair for some great reading finds. Classroom teachers hosted a presentation twice during the night to review classroom routines, share curriculum information, and showcase students' goals throughout the year. And new this year, Prescott had community partners set up in the cafeteria to familiarize families with local organizations. Many thanks to the community partners Impact Norwood, Scouts Pack 42, Norwood CFCE, Norwood Library, CPAC, Norwood Parent Music Association, and Trails Committee for setting up tables with information for families. What an exciting way to kick off the school year. Kindergarten students at the Willett were shivering with excitement last week when they were visited by their favorite penguin, Gigi, to kick off another great year of learning with ST Math. Gigi was happy to celebrate that every student had successfully signed into the program and was on their way to solving puzzles. The students created crowns, colored pictures, and made cards for their special guest. Gigi and the entire Willett staff were very proud of them. We can't wait to see how far they will go. The students at the Little Mustang Preschool recently joined millions around the globe in celebrating International Dot Day, a special event inspired by The Dot, a beloved book by Dedham author Peter H. Reynolds. This day is all about fostering creativity, courage, and collaboration in people of all ages. After reading The Dot with their classes, the children embraced the story's powerful message that even a small mark can lead to something amazing. Each student was invited to make their mark by decorating their own unique dot. No two dots were alike. Each one is a reflection of the child's imagination, personality, and creativity. To celebrate unity and collaboration, all the dots were displayed in the hallways. creating a colorful and inspiring masterpiece for everyone to enjoy. The project served as a joyful reminder that when we celebrate our differences and work together, we can create something truly beautiful. That wraps up this week's school news. A big thank you to all the teachers who keep us in the loop with their updates. It really helps us see the wonderful things happening in our schools. Reporting for Norwood School News, I'm Caitlin Hamway. And now, here's Ron Marshalsea with the latest in sports.
I'm Ron Marshalsea, and this is your sports update. The football team had a tough loss to King Philip last week, but the Mustangs hope to get back in the win column live on the NCM Community Channel on Friday the 26th when they host Shawshene Valley Vocational Tech at 6 o'clock. The field hockey team is now 3-3-1 after losses to Medfield and DS, but head to Medway next Monday to face the other Mustangs at 5 o'clock. The Mustangs game against DS was live on NCM, and you can rewatch that or any other broadcast of Norwood Sports at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. The girls' soccer team lost to Medfield on Monday, and their Thursday matchup against DS was postponed. They will host Medway on Monday the 29th at 5:30. The boys' soccer team lost to Medfield this week, but look to get a win over in Medway on Tuesday the 30th at 5. The girls' cross-country team got their first win of the season over Dedham this past Wednesday, with Bridget Flynn coming in first, Kieran Gorman coming in second, Aria Callahan coming in sixth, and Sienna Powers coming in seventh. Bridget Flynn also ran in the Frank Kelly Invite over the weekend, coming in second out of 104 runners with a time of 11 minutes and 20 seconds on the 3K course. The golf team lost to Weymouth by 1 on Monday, but officially qualified for the state tournament with their 225-239 win over Bellingham on Tuesday. The Mustangs sit at 10-4 overall, and against Bellingham on the par 36 Norwood Country Club course, Max Conley shot a 35, Rocco Sheehan shot a 36, and Tommy O'Brien shot a 37. They host Hopkinton on the 29th at 3:30 for a TVL matchup on Monday. The volleyball team lost in Medfield last Friday, but bounced back when they hosted Stoughton on the 22nd, getting the big 3-0 win. Zoe Fleming had complete control of the floor, helping the Mustangs to their now 4-4 record. They are at Medway on the 25th at 6:15 and host Millis on the 29th at 5:15. And that is all I have for this sports update. I'm Ron Marshalsea, and Norwood News will be right back after this break.
You want this wide open football?
Wide open.
All by himself. He's going to be gone.
He's gone. He's gone.
Touchdown.
Random 6, Norwood up 28-12. They would go on to win it.
Touchdown, Derek Mustang.
The Board of Selectmen met on Tuesday evening for their regular meeting, beginning with quarterly updates from the Norwood Light Department and Broadband. Representatives from both departments provided brief overviews of current and upcoming electrical infrastructure projects. As Norwood Light Broadband transitions from traditional cable services to streaming, the department is exploring ways to educate subscribers.
So then we'll get into the broadband. As you know, we're building a fiber-to-the-premise plant. That's about 82% complete. It will be complete by the end of November. The infrastructure plant will be. The multi-dwelling units and some of the other things, locations we need to go into, those won't be done by the end of November, but the main plant from the head end out will be done by the end of November. Once that's complete, I think you'll see our marketing increase significantly, because then we can make it available to everybody in town. And we're going to push hard to do training sessions for everybody, whether it's at the senior center and some other locations, because we want people to understand like how to do this. How do you stream? What is streaming? And I think if we can get people get a better understanding of it, they'll like it a lot. So you're going to see us around a lot more and try to really increase our exposure and our visibility in the community.
If I may, so what are you seeing in terms of current activity regarding people moving to streaming? Is it increasing? Is it leveling off? Or
well, actually, you're seeing this. Here's streaming, and here's traditional cable. You're seeing this, and if you guys are familiar with Pew Research, they just came out with a study saying that 83% of people today are streaming versus around 36% with traditional cable. But still, what that means for us, to Dan's point, is we've got to do a really solid job helping people migrate over to streaming. which we plan on doing, and that's like a major focus of ours right now. It's senior centers and going to the different MDUs, the larger places, doing events that show people how easy it is. Online tools, I think we mentioned before, like My Bundle that we offer.
Yeah.
It's a great program. You can plug in what you want and it builds it. And I've had conversations with people, and by the time we're done talking, they're saving $60, $70 based on, well, like, I'm paying for all this, but I'm only watching this.
Right.
Well, what can we get you into a streaming package that a la carte's that down, right? So that you're not, so your bill goes down.
And you've made it easy by putting My Bundle access on your website, so people can go to the Light Department website and access that tool.
And we'll be advertising that too,
Okay.
a lot more.
We actually have it set up in our lobby as well. If people, like, I don't know how to do this and they want to come in, we have it set up in our lobby that we'll be more than happy to show people how to do things.
2 applications for livery public automotive licenses were reviewed and approved by the board. General Manager Tony Mazzucco presented an overview of the FY26 Capital Improvement Plan, including proposed funding for various town projects. The board opted to postpone the review of the draft warrant and yellow sheets to a later meeting. Director of Finance and Accounting Jeff O'Neill delivered an update on projected water and sewer rates for FY26, recommending a delay in any decision until more data becomes available, likely by December. Tony Mazzucco also touched on his goals and objectives as general manager, noting that an override may be necessary in fiscal year 2028.
So let's talk about the one thing that nobody ever likes to talk about is, do we need an override and when? The answer is yes, likely in 2 years. This is from my budget message in 23. We've been fortunate with many years of relatively low inflation. However, we're paying for that now. That was 3 budget cycles ago. 24, in terms of looking down the road over the next few years, it's been increasingly clear that an override will be necessary in a few years, or we may face significant service reductions. This past April, facing the likelihood of a general override in 27 or possibly 28, the longer we can delay a tax increase without compromising our long-time financial health, the better. So we have been talking about this. We're getting closer to that point. I think absent public safety, which might need to get addressed next year, it looks like FY28 is going to be the year. We can balance in 27 with reserves. Now that's based on a reasonable projection of what we think we will have and what we think our costs are going to come at. Jeff has submitted free cash to the state. Our total free cash number, the state decides it every year, so we don't know what it is. We think we will have reserves roughly to balance the budget. I say that with the caveat, I don't know where health insurance is coming in. I don't know where the pension is coming in. We don't know what we're going to see for state aid, so there's a lot of ifs there, but we can get pretty close if we need to with reserves. Delaying an override till FY28, when we have the reserves, we should always use the reserves and delay any potential tax increase should the public want to go that road. The longer you can delay it, the better. For fiscal 28, so this is 2 years out, we will have the fully burdened new growth from the FM project. We're anticipating that bringing in at least probably $2 million of new revenue. It could be more. So if today you said if we needed to have a vote today on an override amount, I would say it's between $10 and $14 million based on where we are, and I don't have a lot of the numbers yet. If we wait till FY28, normally that number goes up. However, we're going to get a significant new growth bump for that budget cycle from FM, meaning that worst case scenario, we'd still be in that $10 to $14 million range. So the longer we can delay that same increase or have the same increase a year later is better. Now, if those numbers come in really, really good, maybe we're looking at a number under $10 million. I don't want to guarantee that. There's a lot of ifs there, but we can delay it, and we want to make sure we get all of that new growth because that's going to be a significant bump for the town. Not enough to close a deficit, unfortunately, but that lets us kick it off without having the amount fundamentally increase. Again, absent all the things that we can't control.
In other business, the board voted to officially rename Willett Field in honor of longtime community figure John Lighty Lighthizer. The Board of Selectmen will meet again on Tuesday, October 14th. The school committee met at the Savage Center Wednesday night, which began with Paul Riccardi delivering the quarterly facilities update. He expressed his concern about the inability to maintain the schools in the district, in his words, up to what the MPS students and teachers deserve during the summer due to the increase of camps and activities in each of the schools during that time. He acknowledged there is no easy way to pick and choose, but he just wanted to talk about it. Dr. Luff then gave an update on the redistricting process during his superintendent's report.
Very brief update on the redistricting process. I did share a memo with you folks and to the public on what I wanted to share tonight. And this is really just to remind folks in the community and to you that we are still looking at redistricting to 6 K-4 elementary schools next year. We've been reporting out on this for quite some time after the decision was made last year. As Mr. Riccardi discussed, the Willett Early Childhood Center will turn from a single kindergarten school to a K-4 school, and we'll be moving those kindergarten classes to the other schools. I just wanted to share with you where we were in the transition plan. We had provided one to you last year that kind of laid out different steps, and I want you to know what's going to be coming next. That plan is here in the memo, but one of the biggest pieces that we're going to be looking at next is the identification of positions and placement for each building. But in order to do that, we have to wait for the October 1 count to be certified, because we have to take a hard look at were the numbers, are the numbers that we have accounted for, been looking at last year when we did the projections, are they still accurate? And do there have to be any modifications made by me, through policy to shift a street if I need to, or something like that? I don't know that there will have to be any, but I just want to make sure we're still on track. So once,
I just want to interrupt you. So for the general public out there, the data dump is SIM, so it's the Student Information Management System that the state does. So there are certain times throughout the year where we have to upload data, i.e. Enrollment, a bunch of different things. So that's what Dr. Luff had mentioned in terms of the October 1 data dump.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. It's Jeff. So we'll look at those numbers. We'll make sure that we have accurate projections for class sizes, accurate projections for the streets that were projected to go to certain schools, and just ensure that we're on track there. Once that is done and we can identify exactly how many general education classrooms we need in each school, I'll then be able to work with our union leadership to do voluntary transfers to different schools for teachers, as well as involuntary transfers if we have to, with the idea of getting all of the staffing arrangements done by the end of December for all staff. That would be the ultimate goal, and that is in the transition plan. We'll also, I do plan at some point, probably mid-November, to do another forum. I said I would do that, just to revisit anything about parent concerns, see if anything new has come up. So we will have those pieces. Again, I don't anticipate many changes. The data that we collected is really, really solid. But I do want to make sure that the pillars of the elementary study, which are before you tonight, are still in place.
The committee then had a brief discussion about the approach for the Student Advisory Committee for the 25-26 school year. Then came the discussions of the long-term agenda and the strategic plan. The plan received a 4-0-1 vote. Budget followed business, starting with a budget subcommittee update and a review of the FY25 year-end report. The committee then went into the consent addenda followed by the adjournment. The school committee will meet again on October 8th. The main topic of the planning board meeting this week was the proposed rezoning of 61 Endicott Street so new businesses could move in without having to go before the zoning board each time. The developer talked about plans to improve parking and traffic flow, as well as landscaping and drainage. They noted that they would fall short on some requirements, like the number of trees, because so much of the property is already paved over. Some neighbors raised concern about cars parking in the non-parking zone along the water, saying it's a safety issue if the fire department ever needed access. After some discussion, the board talked about whether they had enough details to move forward. Community Development Director Sarah Dixon suggested holding off until more information was provided. The Planning Board voted to continue the hearing until its next meeting. Jack Tolman organized an effort that created display cases inside the high school on the walking track. They are filled with NHS memories and moments that anyone can see in person, and we thought we would bring them to you and profile what is inside each one. Here is the first of 25 videos that you will see throughout the year.
Hey everybody, this is Jack Tolman from the class of 1981, and I'm standing here up at the walking track which is located in Norwood High School above the gymnasium. And behind me are 25 display cases, which were funded by groups, organizations, and individuals. I reached out to them to see if we could raise the money to have these cabinets built so we could display archives, memorabilia, class memories, and basically to be a Norwood High School Cooperstown. And in this ongoing video series, we're going to take you inside these display cases so you can see a little bit of Norwood High history. This display case was donated by the Hall of Fame Committee, and inside are members of the Norwood High School Hall of Fame. There's a picture of Bob Stanton from the class of '44, who went by the name of Yowza Stanton. And behind him is Mr. John Posey. Many alumni remember Mr. Posey as a longtime school administrator, but he was elected into the Hall of Fame for his baseball skills. And here's a puck from Neil Higgins from the class of '68, who recorded 32 shutouts. We have Arthur Gula, longtime coach and athletic director here at Norwood High School, who's also a member of the Norwood High Hall of Fame, along with his son Mike. Here's a picture of Jack Maroney from the class of '47, who was a three-sport athlete here at Norwood High School. There's a patch from the 1972 Norwood High State Champion hockey team. Here's a tribute to Richie Hebner, which has a couple of bobbleheads, one from the Pittsburgh Pirates and another from the Detroit Tigers, and a 1975 baseball card. Here is Jim Sweeney's Player of the Year trophy for the Boston Globe. Jim is also a math teacher here at Norwood High School. Many alumni played football at Junior High North for Mr. Dan McKenna. He's in the Hall of Fame for his baseball skills. Here is an autograph program from the Norwood High School Hall of Fame induction from the class of 2007. From the class of 1970, here's a picture of Billy Travers. Billy played for the Milwaukee Brewers and was a member of the 1976 All-Star Game. As you can see, inside these display cases are high school memories that are frozen in time. I would like to invite you to come up to Norwood High School, come up to the walking track, root the Mustangs on for a game, and turn around and relive your high school memories.
There's so much rich athletic history at Norwood High School, and these displays are just such a great reminder to current athletes and coaches like myself that we need to do our best to uphold the great tradition. Just such an impressive group of people. Well, that's a wrap for this edition of Norwood News. For the latest updates and stories, be sure to follow Norwood Community Media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and from all of us here, have a great weekend.